to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everyone. This is Kiru here, and I just got home from work and I just showered, and yeah. Anyways, this is gonna be part 5 to what if Deku had Spider-Punk's abilities, or what if Deku was Spider-Punk. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I left off at the end of the heroes versus villains, with Bakugo and Momo being the villains, and Deku and Jiro being the heroes. Now then, anyways, we cut to the USJ where they're on the bus to actually head there. Deku and Jiro are talking, and he's throwing out ideas for certain things they should do for a song because they're both sitting next to each other. Now they're actually like talking and getting really into logistics about it, and everyone's kind of confused at what they're talking about. And eventually, Deku would feel his spider sense go off, but whenever he turns to look, he sees that everyone is just looking at him. So he would think that that's just weird. Afterwards, him and her would actually go back to talking. Now, whenever they're going to go walk into the USJ, Deku would actually feel his spider sense go off again. And he would just think that, why does this keep happening? This has been happening since he woke up. He would tell Aizawa about this, but Aizawa would just say that your quirk might be mutating, or your quirk might be acting up. He doesn't know. Now, whenever they actually do walk in and 13 gives that explanation, Deku would just feel his spider sense keep going off over and over and over again, and everyone's watching as Deku's face went from calm to just panicking in less than a few seconds. So Deku's actually freaking out, saying that we need to get out of here, something's wrong, something's gonna happen. And everyone's thinking Deku's insane. But Momo and Jiro would say that Deku's spider sense isn't something to joke about. It's basically a warning system for something that's gonna happen. And on cue, the portal would open for the villains. Now Deku would kind of calm down, knowing that yes, his quirk isn't messing up, but the reason for it was trying to tell him that they were gonna be attacked. Now then, after the portal opens and all the villains come out, this is whenever Bakugo, Momo, Jiro, and Deku would all actually go into battle. Aizawa would try and stop this, but he would actually just have to go and join them in the fight. Now, they would actually take down quite a number of villains before Deku and everyone else gets teleported. After this would happen, Deku is falling, but he falls into the water. Now, he would actually be trying to get out of the water and trying to swim upward. After this would happen, Sue would actually come in and actually pick up Deku and take him to the boat. Now, whenever they do get onto the boat, did I expel Mineta? No. Okay. Shinsho is actually there with them, and he's seeing that this isn't very good, that they're kind of surrounded by villains. Deku and Sue would start talking along with Shinsho, and Deku would eventually throw out the idea that they don't know what our quirks are. Or Sue would throw out that idea, I think. I think she threw out that idea in canon, but Deku would actually be the one to throw it out, saying that they don't know what our quirks are, do they? They may know what your quirk is, Midoriya. What do you mean? Well, don't spiders not know how to swim? Well, actually, that's only certain species. There's actually a species of spider that can. He would then start talking a lot about what his quirk can do, and Shinsho would interrupt him, saying that they need to get out of here. Deku would say that, oh, that's going to be real easy then. Just give me a minute. He would then start stretching, and they're asking what he's doing. He would then tell them to hang on to him, and whenever they do, Deku just immediately leaps off of the boat, high enough into the air, and he would then stick a web to the top of the USJ, and actually just swing over the water. Now, Shigaraki would see this because it's essentially a flying target, so he would then tell Kirigiri to summon the Nomu, because he thinks that this might be a hero, or they're trying to escape. Now, after this does happen, they would eventually get to land. Whenever they get there, Deku is actually not paying attention. He's actually talking, saying that it's a good thing we got out of there. And he would feel the spidey sense go off, and he would turn around and immediately punch Shigaraki. Now, Shigaraki was actually about to grab Deku's shoulder and actually decay his left arm. But Deku actually was able to punch him away. Well, he would have tried to, but as soon as he would have actually gone for the swing, the Nomu would have moved in front of him. This would have actually created quite a shockwave, shooting a lot of people behind him back. And they're actually kind of surprised at how strong Deku actually is, because this actually hurt the Nomu quite a bit. This is whenever Shigaraki would actually be kind of impressed, and then Deku and the Nomu would actually start fighting. Shinso would then actually try talking to Shigaraki, and Shigaraki would be talking back to him, but he would then immediately just stop moving. Kirigiri would actually just teleport Shigaraki away, and he would think that that kid probably has some form of brainwashing. So he would just teleport the kid again. Now before this would happen, Bakugo would actually arrive and actually start fighting with him. And one sad part about this story, Todoroki still has daddy issues. Yeah. Okay. I had to do that. It was stuck in my head for a minute, along with an annoying Christmas song. Jesus, I hate that stupid song. Anyways, now then, Deku and the Nomu are fighting. He's actually trying to use quite a bit of capture gear on it. And this is whenever, all of a sudden, Deku would just hear a familiar sound. Now, Jiro has actually stepped in to try and help fight the Nomu with Deku. She would have actually tried blasting it with as much sound waves as possible. And this is whenever it would turn around and actually start moving towards her. Now, while it's doing this, Momo is actually standing next to her, and she's just firing off as much as she can at it. After that, Deku would then shoot webs at it and actually try holding it still. And he would tell Jiro to use her enhancement quirk along with your own. Or use your second quirk along with your first one. Now she's kind of reluctant to try and do this, but she actually starts powering it up. And whenever she does do this, her quirk is actually getting stronger. And after this, Bakugo would actually start joining in, along with a lot of other people in Class 1A. Zero is actually trying to help Deku hold it back, but Deku would just tell him not to try. Basically just give him extra grip. Wrap the tape around the Nomu and hand it to him. He would do this, and whenever he does, Deku would then see as Bakugo starts joining the fight, and along with Todoroki and them. Todoroki would be trying to freeze this thing solid into the ground. And then, after that, Deku would start shooting more and more webs. Now, these are actually electrifying the Nomu, and Deku would see this. After that, Deku would then look at Kaminari and tell him that he has a stupid idea. Do you trust him? Kaminari would reluctantly say that he does. Deku would then shoot a couple more webs at the Nomu and actually tell him to hold on to these and try shocking them. Kaminari would actually do this, and whenever he does, Deku also, well, he just keeps firing more and more webs at it. This is whenever the Nomu would actually have his brain fried, a lot of his body destroyed, and blown apart. The pro heroes would actually come and they would see that their students are essentially tearing the Nomu apart, along with Jiro just blasting it over and over with sound. Now, All Might would actually arrive on scene and try and help them against the Nomu, but this thing is just stumbling around and acting stupid, along with Kaminari. Now then, after this, Aizawa, he actually was not attacked by the Nomu, but he actually was taking out a lot more lower class villains. The Nomu is regenerating because the shock absorption, that only applies to the skin. So it's actually been having trouble with its muscles. Now, this is whenever the students would have to explain that thing. They essentially called it a Nomu. It's packed full of quirks and made to kill All Might, is what their leader said before he disappeared. Now, after that, they would be given 2 weeks off. Deku, Jiro, and Momo, they would essentially all come to train at the beach. After this would happen, Jiro would say that she's really she would actually run up to Deku after the USJ event and she'd actually hug him really tight, saying that she's really glad Deku's okay and she doesn't know what she would have done if he was actually hurt. Deku kind of blushes at this, and this is whenever she would pull away and actually start doing the whole no, I didn't mean it like that. And then Deku would just pull her in for a hug, saying that he's just glad she's okay too. Now, everyone in classes 1A is actually watching this, and people kind of they're kind of jealous. But Kaminari still got his brain fried, and he just kind of cuts to him with his thumbs up and a dumbfounded look on his face. That Saitama look on his face. I said it. It's too on the nose. Alrighty, now then, back to the beach. They would arrive, and Deku would actually ask Jiro about why she was only going at that much of one for all. Hasn't she tried going further? Well, how far can she go with one for all actually without breaking her limbs or hurting her body? This is whenever she'd actually try cranking it up more and more, and she'd actually get up to probably about 15%. And this is whenever she starts feeling like she just worked out. Now then, she would actually crank it up to 25%, and she's actually sparring with Deku. Now, after a couple minutes, she would actually start having muscle cramps and actually fall over, exhausted for a minute. This is whenever Deku say that it's actually good that we found your limit. Now we need to work on that. She'd be confused, and then Deku would just pick her up, saying that they're going to be that she needs to rest for a minute, and tomorrow they're going to be working on that. So then he would actually carry her back to her house. Now, he would also meet her parents, and they would say that he must be the boy she talks about a lot, and he would actually meet her mother. I don't exactly know what her mother does, but she would actually she would see Deku as a delinquent for a minute, until he's actually talking to her. He's actually telling her about a lot of things she's done, about how he's actually helped. Well, he actually used to play in a small little band back in another country. She would be actually a little bit impressed by this, and she would ask to hear a song. So Deku would actually start playing one that him and Jiro have been trying to come up with. She would actually like it quite a bit, because it actually does carry a good bass and a good melody. But she feels like the lyrics could use a bit more work. Deku would say that, yeah, that's kind of the tough part. It's about bringing it all together, because it feels like we're missing something. Now after that, oh crap, what's that thing called? There's a certain guitar that you can actually use, and it sounds really cool. Like it's completely like it's something straight out of like Dr. Seuss, like something he would like draw. I think everyone would love it if they ever saw it. I'd have to look it up. Now then, after this, they would continue training, and Momo would pop up. She'd actually ask a lot about. Well, actually, yeah, no, Momo would be doing that. Momo, to train her quirk, she's actually learning more about firearms and putting them together and disassembling them. Now, Deku, he would actually help her with her aim and a lot of different things with firearms. He would then think that if he actually did have something kind of like a firearm, it might help him, like a web gun. But he would quickly brush this idea off, thinking that that'd be too weird, because he can just shoot them. After this, let's cut back to Jiro and Deku. Jiro has actually worked on using her quirk to fly better, because he would ask her why she's still trying to hover. Just try powering up one for all with while trying to do that. Just keep your focus. She would actually do that, and she'd eventually get higher than just a couple feet off the ground. This is whenever Deku would actually tell her that that's pretty good, but he would then begin trying to help her, saying that she needs to have proper control with it in a fight then. After that, he would actually begin shooting some webs at her. Now, she's actually dodging this and having quite a lot of fun about it, because they're essentially throwing jokes and insults kind of back and forth. This is whenever Deku would stick one to her and actually pull her in. Now, whenever this does happen, she'd eventually land on him and knock him over, saying that it looks like she caught the villain. They would both laugh about this before she would quickly blush. Well, Deku would actually start blushing and get kind of nervous, and this is whenever Jiro would actually lean in and kiss him. Now, he's actually quite surprised by that. But he actually does like Jiro, so he actually kisses her back. And this would surprise her, because she kind of just put everything on a bet, and now she's happy. After that, they would quickly pull away from they would quickly stand up and actually kind of pull away from each other. Momo would have actually saw this, and she would have just left it alone, giving them a moment. Now, after training quite a bit more and Jiro actually bulking up her power, training one for all and her own, after a minute, let's see, Jiro can actually go up to about, she can go about up to 18% of one for all. And this is her actually kind of pushing it a little. But this is where it gets like 15% is where she's comfortable, but she can use 18%, and it feels comfortable, but it's like a bit irritating. It's like if you're wearing long socks and one of them is slipping down your leg, and it's not uncomfortable, but it's noticeable. It's that type of comfort that it is. Well, it's that type of uncomfortable. And she could probably use about, I want to say she can probably use about 28 or 30% at the phase where it's somewhat uncomfortable. Or not uncomfortable, but it's at the point where she's actually pushing her body to where she's actually getting muscle cramps and actually like almost blowing out her muscles, because she's essentially putting too much power into them. Now then, I am going to have to cut this part and actually put these two pieces together because my recording stops. But anyways, before I actually do start editing the video, please give me, well, I would like some feedback on my whole idea for giving Deku eight quirks, because I was going to give him very combat-oriented quirks. But I was thinking whether or not I should give him if I should give him a capture quirk. I was thinking about something like Ciro's or Monetta's, but I wanted it to be a bit different, and I actually found one I think would actually be really cool. Now, whenever I do that what if, I'm going to actually have to talk about how I've seen a couple YouTubers do what ifs similar to the quirks I'm going to be using, but I will be talking about that at a different time. I'm actually going to be figuring this out a bit more, because I've been thinking about it all day, and some of these quirks actually don't make a bit of sense with each other. Now then, this is going to be Kirosho signing off.